Hello, everyone. Am I live? Boy, golly. So this is mirrored also, and also I must have uh, rolled around with the cats or something, because I'm covered in hair. Oh, it would be mirrored on the desk at least. Well, here we are. It's Wednesday in lovely Ligonier, Pennsylvania. William is busted today, so I graciously with the goodness of my heart. And I told people that I could pivot easily yesterday. And so he was gonna make it serious and is gonna go and make me do this. So he said I have to do it, but oh, Teresa's watching. Howdy. So I don't know if anybody's gonna watch because it's Wednesday and nobody watches us on Wednesdays. Well, at least 5 of you are here. We have a little party of 5 up in here. One of them's probably William. Party of 4, party of 6. I don't know. I can't count. Before 7, after 4. So in between there somewhere. If you're watching, say howdy or hi or whatever your equivalent. So we've had a pretty busy day today. I got up early and did some work and then went back to bed for a few hours. So I'm not like, shivering and crying. Oh, Marianne's watching. Howdy. I don't know how to turn the thing on where the comments go in the. Oh, Vicky's watching. Howdy, Vicky. Let me see. I'll figure it out. Back up, Sicky.
You want me to pull these things, or are you gonna do it?
You can pull it.
You'll accept that help.
Some people is gracious when they sick. Some people's not. Marion says, "Hey to the rest of the crowd." Yeah, we getting some people. We got to 9 now. We almost 10. We can't do basketball, but I wouldn't do it anyway. So there you go. Anyway, so I really did not plan for this. So we're just gonna wing it and hope for the best. Hopefully I don't disappoint you too hard in your life and you don't think this is a complete waste of time. Um and if so, turn it off. I don't care. Whatever. No, I'll be nice. I'm nice.
Yeah, be nice.
He's like, yeah, be nice. He's healthy enough to say that. Upset your friends. They're my friends first. Some of them. Marianne says basketball only needs 5. Clearly, I don't play it. Maybe football, I'm thinking. Whatever the one you need like a lot of people to do. And what are we gonna do? Play against each other with that horse? I don't remember. That flashed into my mind as like a childhood memory that I should know about. Anyway, so hopefully y'all are having a good day. It's real pretty outside. It's still a little bit cold, but it's warming up. So thank goodness for that. Vicky says you're kind, remember? I'm kind, I'm not nice. See, that's the difference. Not nice. I should have a shirt that says that. I'm kind, but not nice. Marianne says clearly. Well, I exit out your comments. No, I'm playing. Anyways, so it's Wednesday. He's not going to his pottery class. So normally I would probably be going to the cottage right now. I had a couple of meetings this morning. So I did that, and those seemed productive. I got some. I did an interview for a local magazine, so hopefully they pick that up. I don't know. It's supposed to be like spotlighting different entrepreneurs, and we have a business, so might as well, right? Teresa says raining there on Long Island. Oh no. I see clouds. They're looking stormy. No, no, well, they're building up momentum to visit you, I guess. Um, so we've been busy getting things ready. The big news is that we've kind of reached our 1/3 goal in our fundraiser. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we're having a GoFundMe right now. But there's a couple people who, I know how the times are tough, for some folks, and so they've contributed in other ways. So one of my friends, she sent me some PMC that she wasn't going to use. Even if it's dried up, I can kind of still melt it down and use it. And then when my other friend sent me some enamels, she said she didn't know if they're going to be any good because they've been in her garage for like a decade. So we'll see. It should be fine. Unless her garage is underwater, it should be fine. Um, Marion says, "May the God smile on your interview." Yeah, hopefully I made it good, so that people will want to read it. Otherwise, then you know, at least it puts our name out there. And so then what else? So that is going live or is currently live, and we reached our 1/3 goal. It sounds like a lot, and it kind of is, but we have to get a lot of work done. So that's what we got to do. Um, and thank you so much to everybody who's contributed already. That means a lot to both me and William. Um, yeah, go lay down, Sicky. Oh, Idabelle's gonna come in. She's gonna be entertainment. Yeah, that's Idabelle. She's the alpha. Yeah. So I'll show you how to bead, y'all. She's gonna show you some beading things today. That's sweet. No, get off. Um, and I'm like, how come I'm so covered in cat hair? That's why. Um, Susan said, hello, everyone. I just abbreviated it because this is kind of long, but it's everyone. I just included everyone. Um, Susan said, pretty girl. Yeah, she's raw pretty. They have been pretty good this morning. They've been mostly, well, Gertie keeps trying to kiss on William. I'm like, and he's like, no, no, Gertie, no. And but somehow she's still like up in his lap trying to kiss his face. She's worried about him. Um, and Marianne says, I don't think that amount is that large for what you need to do. Susan says, do you guys need a grocery run? No, because William went already, but thank you. He went yesterday or the day before, so we're pretty stocked up. And plus I made when I cook, I sometimes cook for about 50 people, so we have a great big pot of my um uh I don't know what you call it. It's just like beans and sauce and vegetables. I mean, it doesn't sound that good. I need to come up with a fancy name. It's not like cassoulet, but it's kind of like that, but maybe not as fancy. I don't know. Anyway, so I made a huge pot of that. So we need to finish that off before it goes bad. I don't like to waste food. So Um, so another thing, if you don't follow the Museum of Beadwork, they're up in Portland, Maine. They're a really lovely organization. I think they got started in the pandemic. One of my pieces is in the permanent collection there, a part of their wall of beaded pieces. So definitely check that out if you're up there. And they have their fish auction right now. So if you don't know what that means, it's called Fishes and Wishes, I think, or Wishes and Fishes, one of those. And it's their annual fundraiser. And I contributed a piece. And if I remember correctly, I think I did at least part of it on the live. Excuse me. I started a big one and then I was like, this is a lot of work to be given away. And then the fish turned into an eggplant. So that happens sometimes. So that is currently live right now. So if you get a chance and you're like, I want that glow in the dark fish, you can go to their website, the Museum of Beadwork, and check that out. So that's live. Some of the other things, like housekeeping things, we what? We we still have a few more of the treasure hunt boxes. I don't know why nobody's buying them. I think it's because we start begging for money, and people are like, oh, I'll give them some money, and then that's their money that they would have bought a bead box with. So those are still available. I'm trying to make them real good. I opened them back up because I know I found out somebody doesn't like pink, and there was a lot of pink in that box, so I opened up a couple of them and swapped some things around so that they're not like sad in their heart. I'm doing that for best friend time, so there you go. Plus William's busted, so he's been trying to recover all day. So that's kind of this story of it. We got I made him some tea and then he slept too long, so then I drank it. So there you go. It's the thought that counts, right? Anyways, I'm gonna flip this around because I'm not good at the whole banter for one whole hour about. He's like, "What you been doing in your life?" and this, that, and the other, and technology and stuff. I'm like, I barely know how to do my phone, so I mean, I guess I could talk about an hour for that. I don't know. I doubt y'all want to watch that. William says, yeah, sorry everyone, ended up not feeling so great. Yeah, he's all like and I was like, you need to not talk or breathe on me. So but in a loving way, the loving way. Louisa is watching. Howdy. Um, so we have the mystery or the treasure hunt boxes. William says, you got some fun stuff to show though. I hope he picked it out, some of it. I may have to do like, go through it because me and Idabel will go through it. I'll set her on the job just in case. Um, Marianne says, get well soon. Yeah, I hope so because I'm not built for this. Teresa says, sending healing vibes your way, William. Yeah, well. Anyways, I'm like, maybe go to the cottage for like a couple hours and do a little bit of shipping until you feel exasperated. Then I'll pick you up. Oh, and William says, I meant your prototypes. Oh, yeah, I was gonna show those to you real quick. And then, I don't really want feedback because I don't really want feedback. But I will show them to you. And I can talk to you about them. The reason why I don't generally like feedback is that it's kind of a quick way to not feel good about a project if you're not in the accepting of feedback phase. um And what I mean by that is sometimes like you're in the mood for critique and you like put that forward and stuff, and you can have really kind of dynamic conversations about the work and where you want to go with it and all that jazz. And then sometimes I'm in the buckle down phase and I just want to um I don't know why, but I will show you the pieces as they are. They may change, they may not. We'll see. Um, Marianne says, you would send someone sick off to work, Andrew? Yes. I guess I'm um yes. I am busted often and I still go to work. So like one time I taught a class where I had a gout flare up and they had concrete floors and that was real interesting. Let me tell you, they had a little rolling chair. I rolled around that classroom, and but I still taught the class, and people still seem to like it. So you gotta dig deep when you're self-employed. Otherwise, we get nasty grams, and then so you gotta pick. You want nasty grams, or you want to, suffer a little bit. All right. So I'm gonna flip this around, and we're just gonna hop right into it, and then you can see the new pieces. There's the ceiling that's not new. I know some people they think that I'm all gentle like. I'm not really that gentle like. Okay, back ultra wide. Let's see. Did it go? Okay, there you go. You did have a nice assistant for that class too. Oh, William. Yeah, you did all right. So sometimes things work out and sometimes they don't. Um, so in case you're wondering, those are what those rainbow pendants. I think this turned out good, y'all. I'm pleased as punch with those. I think they turned out nice. These are the ones that sold, I think. They're the ones that are available are on the website. That's allegorygallery.com. It's under the fresh drops or whatever. Whoop. William making laughing. Go to sleep, William. You're recovering. You gotta recover for your 1 to 3 hours of work tonight. Um, let's get this. This is the ruler. This is the penny. It doesn't really matter because I'm just showing you. All right. So I go through a lot of things like prototyping. And so sometimes people are like, what does that actually mean? And so what that means for me is sometimes I have things when I make designs and I don't know if I'm going to use them or if I have to change them or, that kind of thing, like where the placement's going to be on the pendant, how big I should make it, if I like it, if I don't like it. Like this one, it's going to seem like I'm being hard on myself, but I'm not. So, like right there, there's like a little spot. I don't know if you can see it. And it kind of has like a little blank spot. And so that doesn't look great to me. So this is probably in the reject pile. However, if I paint this, it may be salvage. So the other thing is I've been experimenting with how long to fire stuff. So this one got a little bit, I overfired this one a little bit and it got a little bit of this blue green on the edge, which I really like. So we'll see about that. William says, love the rainbow pendants. Good. I tried hard. In that same series, I have this one, the little apple friend. Again, I think like right here, this one's a little bit too dark right there. So I may have to go up into like the Photoshop or whatever and clean this up a little bit. And then maybe I'll do it. I think this is also one of the ones that it would look better when I painted it. But if I don't feel strong, like if I'm not like, yes, 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 then it may be a no. You know, we all make choices. When we say yes to one thing, we're saying no to something else, and vice versa. So this is the next one. I do like this one. And you may have seen this. Len showed it on the Creative Make Along. But I think that one turned out really cute. Um, you know, and this one doesn't have to be painted, I don't think. But I like this one. So maybe that's a keep pile. But it would be cute painted, so we'll see. One that I love how it turned out is you all know I like hellebores, right? If you didn't, now you do. I love hellebores, and some people call them Lenten roses. I call them hellebores, and I love them. They're pretty much done blooming now, so that makes me a little bit sad. I probably should have made this a little bit ago, but this is a design that I had made for our very first laser project. So if you go on my timeline, somebody was being a little bit snarky and they're like, I'm so glad that you're finally jumping on the laser bandwagon. And I was like, honey, please, we've been doing this for almost a decade now. Not on enamel necessarily, but we've been messing with that laser for since 2018. And we actually got it originally when we tried to get it in 2015, but it took 3 years for them to deliver it. So I don't want to hear anybody talking about how their package is late because I waited 3 years for one of those packages. Anyway, so here you go. This is the hellebores, and that's on the pendant. I like that one actually. I do think I'm want to maybe jazz it up a little bit, so I may put a transparent on top of a different color. Kimberly says, "Love these." Thank you, Kimberly. This one. The drawing, I really like this drawing that I did. However, it looks a mess, y'all. So that's why I prototype, because Louisa says we are our toughest critic. You could call them specials or samples. Maybe, but I can also not do it and show sell work that I like, and then I'll be happy in my heart instead of putting stuff out that I'm not happy about. I mean, that's the thing, right? Because I get to control who sees my work and how I present myself in this world. So that's kind of why I kind of do that. But you know what? I also believe in the theory of the box. So you put it in the box for a while, and then you revisit it, and then you come back to it with fresh eyes and see if you like it or not. Um, but that's just how I do. Some people they are happy to put stuff out there that they're not proud of, and to each their own. But for me, I want to feel good in my heart. That's the whole. Like I'm pretty much simple when it comes to like my life philosophy. I just want to feel good about stuff. And so like it makes me happy when I can help somebody, or it makes me happy to make artwork, or it makes me happy to eat good food, or it makes me happy to look at pretty colors. I mean, to play with cats, except if they're bad, then I don't want to play with them. But I'm pretty simple when it comes down to it. So if I have that instinct that says yes, this is good, then I'm down to it. If I feel like I'm compromising something, or I kind of feel like a little bit icky, then I'm like, nah, skip it, because I get to choose, right? Anyways, so there you go. So this one is one of the new pieces. And also here's the thing, if you're not critical of your work, then you don't progress. So, I'm all for like everybody's an artist. You can just like smear stuff on the canvas and that's art. And I'm all for it. But also, I also want to get better. So if I'm not critical with myself, and that's me being critical with me, not getting critical from other people, but critical with me. Then that's how I can grow. Because, like for example, Um, oh boy. Um, let's see. I got all kind. There's like this little tiny sliver of Kimberly says that flower in that mushroom garden, heart eyes. And Louisa says, true. Susan says, I hope you feel better soon, William. Anyway, so the other, okay. So because I'm able to be critical with myself and not get my feelings hurt with myself, so there's a difference between like hurting yourself and being able to, look at something more objectively. So, for example, when you look at this, kind of fuzz out your eyes a little bit. I'm not teaching you how to look at my work and be like, "Oh, that's terrible," but just kind of fuzz your eyes a little bit. You see what I'm seeing? What I'm talking about? This all turns into one blob. This is all kind of a blob. So unless you get up on them, that is too much going on. So from far away, it looks like somebody like a ink splotch. However, I have the ability to go into the Photoshop and take this mushroom out and maybe lighten this up a little bit. Maybe you need to stop that, Idabel. Sorry about that. She's digging on the furniture. Let's see. So I can kind of edit this out so that it's a little less busy up here, and you can kind of see the pieces a little bit clearer. So I would probably kind of like soften this a little bit and soften this, and maybe take out some of them. So it looks a little bit better. Also, this is kind of busy at the bottom. So that's the thing. I like this design, but I think I got this a little bit crooked. So if I adjusted it just a smidge this way, I would like it better, or have a reason for that. So I think if I put on the transparent enamels on top and like some pretty blues and kind of oceany vibes, I could kind of make it so compositionally it doesn't look weird, because it kind of looks where you've got like a border here all the way around except for right here. And sometimes that's good. That's nice to kind of like break the border so that adds a little bit of interest to it. But you can see, like, if I take my finger away, like it looks better this way. And then, you know, so anyways, I don't really love that. So I may try to salvage this one. This is a maybe one. This is a yes, but could be better. Um, Man, so judicious editing of a design would make it more awesome. So there you go. And then this one is a little bit, it's the same thing, same design, but on a slightly different shape. And I like this one way better. I still may do a transparent over it with like a blue, because I think it could be really pretty. And it's already getting some of this like blue green because I overfired them on purpose. And I really like that. So I may play up on that and kind of add some blue green, or do like a wash of like a watercolor enamel on top. And I think that could make it even better, but I like this one. I do think that this shape is a little bit tighter, and so it looks a little bit better than this one. So see what I mean? How there's a lot of space on this one, and so that makes it look weird. Well, the space on this one's trimmed down, so it looks a little bit tighter, I think. So that's a yes for me. Um, but this one, here, I'll put the show stream so that people can see it. Let me see large. Oh, that's the large text. Oh, there it goes. Now you can see. All right. So this is one of my Raven. I call them my Corvid friends, and I really like this one. So, but I think that the shape of this could have been a little bit tighter. Vicky says, "Love learning more about your creative process." Thank you. Um, I am really happy with the way this turned out because the dark on that turned out, I think, pretty good. Um, and when we used to do the luster pens, I don't know if any of you remember them, but we used to do this thing called luster pendants, and they were basically like this, except they were like this big, and we had like three designs or like two or three designs. And some of the designs worked really well and some of them didn't. You know, the reason why some of them didn't is the blacks. Before I locked down the laser kind of settings, sometimes that would be too strong and it would hit the metal until it blew a hole through the enamel. And because it was like so concentrated, the heat and stuff. So I've been playing around with it to get this. So this is one of them, and it's got a little mushroom crown. And I think, like Williams, the details on the raven mushrooms came out so good. That I will also agree with. So Susan says, I have several of those luster pendants. They're awesome. Thank you. Maybe we'll bring them back. Well, we kind of did with this. This is technically a luster pendant. Um, anyways, I do think the detail turned out pretty good on that. I do think that I could use a little something over here. You know, I try to be dramatic with kind of like the composition, but maybe a little bit too dramatic. But that also means it's not the hole's not chewed up into the mushrooms. So I think that's a win. Mushroom Crow Friend had a mushroomectomy and I tightened it up. See what I mean? I then gave it a haircut. And there you go. I like that. That looks good. I also gave it one of them little so this is now a raven for sure because it's got the little tuft on its beak. Crows apparently don't have that, but I think I've seen a giant crow, and it's technically a giant crow, not a raven, because their beaks are shorter. But this one has a little bit nose hair tuft or whatever you call it. And then I gave it a little bit of a little something there too. And a little something here too. But anyways, I took the mushrooms off and I like it. I think it fits on the pendant a little bit better too. And it's yeah, I like it. So that's good. And then I also wanted to see how it looked with the rays of light. I do like that with the luster pendants that I do with the gold ones and this rainbow one. Because you get to see more of that iridescence. But this has a nice kind of almost like a comic book. You know how sometimes they have that comic books with like pow and bang and whiz. I don't know if they really have that, but that line work. I grew up kind of reading comic books, so I really like that line work. So I think that worked really well. And I think this would look really pretty on like a pale kind of silvery blue luster background with those nice dark black lines. I think that could really look effective. William says, thank you all who supported the luster pendants. Yeah, thank you. So I like those. Now, talking about kind of blue, I had those star pendants and they kind of looked a little bit like snowflakes, and there was something about them that I didn't really like. I mean, I liked them okay, but maybe more for winter, and, I'm not there yet in my brain yet, so I'm still, not caught up on that. So, anyways, so I put a light sifting of this pale blue on top, and I think that that is nice. It makes the lines not as black in all the parts. So like wherever there's white, the black shows up pretty dark. So I'm gonna hit it with some highlights. And I think that one's successful, but I'm gonna put some highlights on that and really make it pop. This is another one of the ones in that kind of thing. And this one I like as well. I just want to kind of clean this up a little bit and put the highlights in. And I think that'll be really successful. The other one that I like is this one, and I think this one might look good if I come back in and hit some those stars with some gold. Because I love the gold. Teresa said I wore my peach pin last Saturday and received a lot of compliments on it. Oh, good. That's nice. Always like to hear that. And I think this one turned out really strong. There is some like darkness that's happening over here. That's the cobalt. That's kind of that I sifted over. And you know, ideally that wouldn't be there, but I'm okay with that. But overall, I think that one turned out really nice. But I would like to put maybe a moon in there or outline with the stars. Um, and either a white stars or gold. They're Trace says, love the owls. Yeah, I think this little owl collection's nice. So speaking of the luster pendants, I wanted to do one big because the other ones I kind of cropped it and it was just mostly that water lily. But there were dragonflies on that one. So this is a bigger one, a big pendant. Um Marianne says, I do love the owl on a branch. Me too. I think that turned out real good. So this one is one of our old designs, but I think big, it looks kind of fun and a little bit different with where you can see more of the image. Because before you could only see like this much of it, and now you can see like the whole thing. And I think that's pretty good. It is larger, so I don't know if people like that size or not. But some people like big stuff and some people don't. So that's for the folks that like the big one. All right. So I did a painting of Paolo when he passed away, and I wanted to have a cat design, but I didn't want just any cat. So I used this as a basis for this one. I think that one turned out really good. Like the details are real crisp on that, and that looks like him too. So he's gonna be he's our little lucky cat. And so I think that one turned out really good. Kimberly said, "Oh no, water lily with dragonflies. Yes, please." And then I wanted to see how it would look with the rays of light. If you watch my Instagram, you may have seen one where I did one and it was a little bit dark because I put that on top of a dark one. I think I may have shown it on the live. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But on the white, this looks smoking, y'all. I think that looks really good. I think this would also look good on like one solid color of the luster. So maybe like gold or I don't know. I could also touch up just the background, that kind of rays of light one, and do that. But I like it just the way this one is, so I may just leave it. And plus, Pala doesn't he maybe make his little nose pink. Of course, enamel pink is hard, so there you go. Since I love those owls, those corvids are terrific too, and I love that lotus. Thanks. Um, Here is the hellebore, but smaller, and I think that looks good. See how this is just a slight, I don't know. I still like it. I like this one too. I don't know why it's over there in the redo pile or reject pile. So far, it's only these three that I'm really kind of like, and they're not complete losses. I may like this one. I think is a little bit busy, but we may put it up there, and I don't know. We'll see. But I think that one turned out pretty good. I would love this on that robin's egg blue. I think that would look smoking. Um, and then in another life, I'll hand paint every one of them and do the little speckles. You know how hellebores have speckles? I try to do that in the drawing, but I don't know if you can see that. But anyways, that's the hellebores. I think those turn out good. One that I'm not super happy about is this phoenix. I did a series of phoenix paintings a while ago. I don't know if y'all remember that or not. And you know, I love the paintings because they're so colorful. And the birds, I got to use some fun, shimmery, iridescent paints and stuff. And these, when I translated this into like a line rendering, it kind of made everything black. So, I don't know. Um, I'm on the fence about it. But I could like edit the hairdo out and then it could be like a fun bird. So like that. I don't know. This one, if I try to paint over it, it would be hard to do. So I'm not doing that. Kimberly says, totally drooling with all this gorgeousness. Thank you. This is one of my favorite paintings I've ever made. It's the poppy crow. And look how good that poppy is. Like, I think that one is good. So, I like this one, but I also would like to have like some more information happening on the background. So either a color or I don't know, some kind of razzle dazzle, make it a little bit more interesting, I think. So, I mean, black and white's fine, but I kind of want to have it a little bit more jazzy. So, I have to work on this one a little bit, but I still like it. Um, this one I think turned out real good. Um, and I'm happy with the way that turned out. And I think that looks fun. I think that maybe I might change it so the composition's a little bit more like this. No, because then it doesn't hang right, the heart. You know what? I made a sculpture that looked like this heart with a keyhole. I made a whole series of them. There's a bunch of these hearts with keyholes. And so it's kind of funny that the crow is holding one of my sculptures in its mouth. So there you go. I think that one turned out pretty good. This one I think turned out all right, but the kind of branchy crown, um, I think maybe look better not on it. But that's how you see how things look. If you don't do the prototypes, then you'll never know, really. And that's the one of the reasons why I do that is so that like I can kind of refine the images. And also, again, like I said, sometimes I'll put stuff away that I'm not really happy with, and I'll put it in a box, and then I'll open it a couple months later, and then I'm like, yeah, this looks awesome. What am I doing? What was I thinking? So anyways, this is kind of like, it's all right, but it could be better. Tracy says, love the poppy crow. Me too. Marion says, my favorite mythical creature is a phoenix. Oh, cool. Yeah, so those are the ones that I've been working on for this Friday's drop. Some of these I'm gonna revisit and add a little bit of something to them. I need to sign them all because I didn't sign them yet. So they have to go in for at least one more firing. So a lot can happen in that firing. So wish us luck because you never know. Sometimes you put something in and you think it's like gonna be awesome, and then that it brings out some like baby poo brown from somewhere. So you never know. So those ones will probably, some of these will be available on Friday. So hopefully William feels better by Friday because he's gonna be busy uploading stuff um for the art drop this week. All right, so those are the new pieces. And I'm like 80% pleased. That's not too bad, that's more than half. So 80% pleased is pretty good. And then like I have like, about 10% chance to increase that by adding a little bit, little something here and there, and can make it up to 90. I don't think I'll ever be 100 though, but that's all right. Um, William says, going to be a great drop on Friday, I think. We'll see, hopefully. Jennifer's here. Hello. And somebody says Chris. Who's Chris? Oh, Chris says, hello, everyone. Howdy. Citizens. Oh, I love that crow with the locked heart locket. You know what? This didn't show me the comments. I get to see this little sliver of comments, and then sometimes I miss stuff. All right, so I'm gonna jump into the selling part of the show. If you've never ordered from us before, it's pretty easy. All you do is send us an email with the code in it, and it's first come, first serve. And I don't know what the letters are gonna be. William, go find the letters real quick. Because otherwise it's gonna be real interesting if I try to do it and it's already been took up. Um so yeah. William says it's very hard to see the comment. Yeah, you got a little sliver, like you got a little you're peeking under the door or something. And you can see a little bit, but you can't see everything. So, and I'm like, oh, maybe I just need a bigger thing. But this is the biggest you can get the phone to be. So I don't know. I don't think my hand can wrap around if it gets any bigger. So, um, William is gonna look up the code for me so that I can um tell you about life. FRA lots. All right, we're gonna be FRA. So you would send FRA1. Let's pick something good. How about these? It's sunny today, so maybe you'll get to see this. Oh, let me think about. Scooched over on some of the claiming. So, if you claim something and you send it to us an email and you claim it, you're agreeing to purchase it if you get it. That means that you can't claim everything and then go back and like be like, oh, I just want these two things, because that's the way to make it go crazy. So don't do that. The other thing is that if you're new, you'll have to send us an email at the end, including your shipping address, and we need that for a couple different reasons. The main thing is so that we can get you your goodies. And because if you don't, it's going to be sitting on our desk forever, and that's also not a good thing. And then the other thing is that if you live in Pennsylvania, unfortunately, you have to charge sales tax because we are in Pennsylvania. So Um, you know, they have this thing called a nexus threshold of something of sales or something. And we only have to pay that in Pennsylvania. So, anyways, so if you are new, you have to send us your address. And then I said no take backs. And then what's the other one? Um, yeah, and the email, all you need in the subject line is the code. You don't have to be like, in the year of our Lord, I have requested the aid of your beads, lot, blah, blah, blah. You know, sometimes short is good. All right. So this is the last one left of this. This one's $12. There's one only. And I'm going to show you in the light. This one maybe got passed over because in the light, it might have been dark at the nighttime. Usually we do our lives at 7:30 on the weekend or weekdays. And see, it's $12. And this is beautiful vintage check glass. It's clear, but it's also got a little bit of a yellowy green to it. Y'all see that? It's got this wonderful little cut to it. This is this got is like got the bling on it a little bit. So 12-ish by about 13.5-ish. And then how many you get on a string? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 7 pairs of earrings if you're into that. And then it's just shy of 8 inches long. And that's vintage check glass. It's FRA1, $12 only. And you would send that to an email to us at info@allegorygallery.com. William says the reflection and colors are amazing. Yeah, I think those look particularly nice. Look at that. I'm gonna put a flashlight on there. We can just turn the lights on and off and act like we're at a club. Maybe not so great for the epilepsy. Every once in a while, you'll see a little flash there, and it looks like some of them's got AB on some of them. I would love this in like a little pair of earrings, or even as a bracelet. Maybe with some S word thrown in there. I'd probably use gold spacers, but silver could be nice also. Anything really, but I think gold would pick up that kind of warmth of it. And then yeah, that looks good. Maybe put a little tie of a little tassel or something. This is a bookmark, but kind of like a bohemian kind of affair. I don't know. Anyways, William says FRA1 sold. How come it didn't show up on my stuff then? Well, there you go. Well, I'm gonna leave it up there for 1 minute, so that I can write the next one. Oh, there it goes. Thank you, thank you. Okay, FRA2. It just came through, William. All right. So what is next? You will see in the light, hopefully. I think that one turned out real good. Since we're gonna do the clears, let's do this. Ooh, these are nice. I like them. All right. So if you want to get them 2 hole check glass, here you go. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 of these, and this $8. All right. So they're $8 a strand, and there's 4 strands available. All right. I'll take off the other ones so y'all don't get confused. But this is vintage check glass, got 2 holes. I probably use that in bracelet or earrings. You know, if you had this like a, do a beaded loop, put that down there, and hang some of those little magatamas off there like that, and then have a little slight beaded loop at the top of the ear wire. Wouldn't that look good? Um, or as a bracelet. I mean, it would lay like that, but with some colorful. I think if you did like rainbow, of course I'm gonna say rainbow, y'all. How about some rainbow? Um, but if you did like some little spacers in between, the clear ones that acts like a water, you know how if you look through water, it kind of magnifies stuff. Um, and so pick up that color real good. So you get this. This is again just shy of 8 inches. William says, we had these in green the other day too. These clear ones are really nice. I think they're cool. You know what you also could do? Say you don't like clear, um, but you like these. You kind of like clear, but you kind of don't. Get some stickers, like good stickers, not the ones that's like that falls off real easy, and it's in a shape. Maybe somebody got Cricut that can hook you up. You can cut a little pattern on that, stick that on there, and then put the armor etch on that. And then it will be frosted, and then your little pattern would come through. That'll look real good, don't you think? Wouldn't that look nice? And then you can have a little design on there or a shape. Like, say you want to do stripes or something. I don't know. That'd look good. That's FRA2, $8 a strand. I've got 4 of these available. And these ones are about 9-ish by about 21-ish. And there's 4 of those. All right. And then I'm just gonna leave this here. So if that hurts your heart, kind of like focus on the this part. William says, thanks for hanging out, Susan. Susan says, gotta run, have an activity with my neighborhood group, so I'll catch the replay later. Thanks, Susan. William says, would love to see them with colored wire. That could be fun. Oh, jumped again. Somebody says, hi, May. Is May watching? Um, oh, May is watching. Howdy. Um, May says, hi, William. Hope you feel better. Quickly scroll through the chat. Yeah, he's busted. He sounds like a toad that got its throat squashed. I don't know. A squawking. All right. So that's FRA2, $8 a strand. Got 4 of those available. Ooh, talk about razzle dazzle. Hello, friends. I'm into this. I got some of these. All right. So this. Y'all know I love the vitriol. Or maybe you don't, but now you do. So that's the type of coating. These are check glass. This is going to be FRA3, FRA3, and these are $2 a button. Originally, I do it for $1.50 each. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 available. These buttons are really cool. They're check glass buttons. One says, love the idea with the stickers. Maybe I'll have a Williams tries. One says, love those buttons. FRA3, great price. Look at that. Let's go to the disco, y'all. Let's all look. It's even got a rhinestone in the center. We're gonna go get that. What is that? Um, Olivia Newton-John. Was it Xanadu? Go put that on. Put that glitter eyeshadow on and put this on. That make a great closure for a beaded bracelet. Let me tell you, we're gonna. Oh well. Goodbye. All right. See, you make a loop like this on the end. You measure it like this. You put this up here like this, and then you can adjust it. You don't want to be too tight because then this won't slip over. And then you put it through like that. But you also don't want it too loose, or you just donated your bracelet to the street. But maybe I would use a little bit smaller seed beads. But you make a beaded loop, then you put all the other things. Maybe this. Maybe this. Picture it in your mind. Fra 2 and Fra 3. And then that could be the closure. See that? Won't that look good? Hey, I'm designing and thriving. May says, I kind of have a similar one in the shape of a feather from you guys. It's even cooler in person. Yeah, I love this finish, y'all. I am addicted to this. Like, I don't know what it is. You know what? I probably, it's probably Lisa Frank did this to me. But if you all remember Lisa Frank, she had all those rainbows and kittens and all that good stuff. And they're like riding on unicorns and getting up to all kinds of no good. Well, she used to make stuff for like stationery for kids and like adolescent teenagers. And I love a good sparkle moment, y'all. Obviously. Wouldn't that look good? Hot damn, that looks nice. I'm ready for the Pride Parade. So anyways, there you go. Frost 3, 150 each, 12 available. All right. I'm gonna remove the comments from the screen because it's like taking up all this. William says that 7 of Frost 3 sold. It'd be nice if I knew that. Here you go. Whew. It's nice that that's out the way. Well, Bra 3, apparently 7 of sold. The iPad's like, nah, I don't have to do what you tell me. I'm my own person. I'm the boss, not you. Well, thanks. Oh, there it goes. Somebody said 3, Froth 3 times 4, and then Froth 3 times 3. So that means that 5 are left. Look how I did that math for y'all real quick. I'm not known for that. You know what? I can do math in my head when it comes to money. If it's something else, I can't do math. But if it's money, you better believe I can get it down. Like if I have a budget, I can spend it to the penny. I have like a special gift. And I can do it quickly too. One time I went to Lanka's booth, you know her from Raven's Journey. And I only had 15-minute break. And so I only have 15 minutes and I got that done in like, probably 5 because I had to go to the bathroom. As well. Let's see. Oh boy. No wonder why William doesn't use the email up on the big computer. I put it up on the big computer because it's like bigger. So I don't have to like squint my eyes so hard. And you know, all right. Let's do something else. Ooh, this is fun. All right. Some more check glass, y'all. It's check glass night tonight. Y'all didn't know that. All right. So I got this is gonna be FRA4 FRA4. There are this was $4.50 is a bag. Let's just make it even $4 a bag. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 of these bags. So the email there doesn't work. I can't get it set up. I think the computer is too old. Oh boy. Well, whatever. We'll do what we gotta do. So I'm gonna. I like those. A little razzle dazzle for you. Nobody liked fraud 2 though. Bless your homely little clear heart. Nobody wants you. Here's Froth 4 though. Look at these little daggerty goodnesses. This got the kind of like a topaz color, and then it's got rainbow on top. Like you're gonna be a Thundercat. And it's Chitara. You're gonna be over there. Chitara style. Thundercat. I don't know, do y'all remember Thundercats? One time I had one of those Thundercat dolls that you put the ring in the back, and I locked myself in a closet, and people knew I was in there, but they just left me in there, and I was probably in there for at least 4 hours locked in the closet. And it was like in the bottom of a closet too, not like a one that you can stand up in. Oh well, that's what causes the deep distrust. So there you go. Those look nice. You get all of those for $4. That would be a strand if we put it on it. How many's in that bag? 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 25. So that would be William says, I love these feathers for Fra 4. You don't like my Thundercat reference? William says such great patterns and colors. Yeah, that look good. Look at that. This check gloss. Let's see, how big is it? About 14 by about 7. 14 and a half by 7. There's 25 of them for $4 only. And there's 4 of these little packets available. But wouldn't that look good? Put that on a little beaded loop. I'm all about the beaded loop today, y'all, in case you didn't know. So I would probably put it like this. So it's like make a little fan dancer style. A little bit of hoops. Wouldn't that be cute? Do some circular brick stitch and put this on the little tippy tips. Some hoops. I would tell him to go get the thing, but that's at the cottage. But anyways, what you would do is watch my brick stitch video. But you would have a circle and then do a row of brick stitch. So if there's 5 here, you would need at least 10 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then I would probably do an extra row for health. I don't know. Just so it stands out a little bit more and it's not right up against it. And then put one of these little drops in between. Maybe put a little bead on the end, on either end. And you could even make that as a pendant, so it doesn't necessarily have to be an earring if you don't want. You could put a little jump ring or a lark's head knot. Do y'all know how to do a lark's head? Lark's head is easy. I'm not gonna do a tutorial.
I know, but you could show them.
I guess I'll show you how to do Lark's head. He had these in the D stash. These are from Ava. They're a German resin. But to do a Lark's head knot, you fold your silk or cord or whatever it is. You go underneath the loop, and then you go up through that. And that's what's called a Lark's head. And at first you're like, how come that's called Lark's head and not like camel toe? And if you look at it like this, it kind of makes the shape like that looks like the shape of like a bird skull on the side. You gotta like picture it hard, but there you go. So that's called the Lark's head knot. Um Kim says, hi all, sorry William's ailing. Glad the live is still happening. Thanks, Andrew. You're welcome. I'm here for you. So that's how you can do that. Oh, this one. I must have made that the other night, but this is a prototype. Another prototype. I didn't show that. But anyways, that make this would be good. William says that Fra 2 have sold so far, so there's only 2 left. So that's this. But you could screenshot of that if you want. You watch my video from the other night on how to do brick stitch and make that. I would go through twice, y'all, just so y'all know, at least twice. And the hole is ample enough that it can fit that thermally bonded thread twice. If you do it only once, then you playing with fire. I mean, it may last, but if you get snagged on anything, then you basically gonna be picking up beads. Chris says, I would be claustrophobic if I had been locked in a closet for 4 hours. Yeah, I kind of was. You know, it's not my favorite. It's kind of like being in a coffin. Like sometimes when they talk about how they make the vampires, that they have to bury them in the coffin, they have to dig themselves out, and it's like them emerging from the chrysalis of the death or whatever. Um, yeah, I would have a problem with that. But I guess if you're like super strong and you don't have to need to breathe very hard, then that's fine. It just means your fingernails would be jacked up for a little while until they regrow. Supersonic speed. But I'm leery about I hadn't probably this the first how I got trust issues. All right, let's move on before we go too far into the generational trauma. We got new people. I don't want them to think that all we do is cry. Ooh, let's do this one. All right, I'm gonna sell this as a lot. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Let's just do this for. There's 2, 4. Let's just do them $1 a piece. So these were $12. Let's just do this for $8. There's one lot of this available, and you get them all. They're squared rolls, like a rondelle, but square. And it's got rhodium plated, so it's not going to get tarnished. And then, I don't know if y'all can see that. And it's got jet S word. You know what I'm talking about? S word. We're not allowed to say it because they are very, how you call hyper vigilant about their copyright. And even though this is vintage, we don't want to get our channel jacked up. So this is Fra 5, $8, and they're basically $1 a piece for these little spacers. So rhodium plated, S word crystal square, and then I guess I can measure it for you. did about 8 millimeter by 8 by about 4 millimeters thick, 3-ish, and you get 8 of them. So that's froth 5. This one, you get all of those. Williams says generational trauma. Oh, yeah, we have a little song for that. It's nice, very relaxing. All right. Let's see what else we got. Ooh, I love these. I may not want to show you. All right, I'm gonna show this one more time, and then they're gonna live with me for all time because I love them. And let me first make some space. All right. So how are y'all doing? Y'all hanging in there? Hopefully so. All right. Nobody wanted fraud too. Bless this little homely heart. Get out here. Fraud 3. That one are these. I think there's 5 left of fraud 3. And he said I sold some of fraud 4, but I didn't see it. Let's see it. You know, be good if that updated once in a while. Um, have y'all been making anything? Is it too early to do dinner talk? What about lunch talk? I'm kind of hungry. We had a cup of noodles for lunch. That wasn't enough. You know, if William is well enough, I would love some coffee. You just don't breathe on it. I don't need to get sick. But boy, could I use it. I had like 2 sips of coffee this morning. And I'm like, well, no wonder why I have a headache. There you go. That's why. Caffeine deprived. One time we went to my parents' house and William was meeting my mom and dad for the first time. And we were sleeping on the couch because we couldn't be like trusted because we weren't married then. We couldn't be trusted in an enclosed room, even though we had been together for like 6 or 7. We've been together a long time. And so we had to sleep on the couch. And so you go to bed when the last person goes to bed, and somebody's getting in a fight. And so they got emotional until like 2 o'clock in the morning. And my mom was working at the time, and she had to get up she worked at a bus, like a bus monitor. Um, and so she would get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So we were like and you know, whenever you're in a new place, it's hard to kind of fall asleep, even though that couch is comfortable. And they just put in a tile floor, and so the couch, because I'm not 100 pounds anymore, um it kind of moved apart. So basically my feet and my head were on the couch, but it had separated while I was sleeping. And so my butt and part of my lower back were on the cold ass tile floor. And so I was kind of like in a pretzel shape. And then for the whole week that we were there, nobody had mentioned that they had swapped out. They kept the original caffeinated can and put decaf coffee in the can. So I was like, why am I so tired? And it's basically like existing off of like an hour and a half of sleep every night and decaf coffee. And I felt like I was like the walking wounded. It was not good. Like I was seeing visions. It was not good. It was interesting though, because I did see some manatees that thing, and I was like, wow, they're like my friends. And yeah, so anyways, there you go. Mary says, just ate pizza. Pizza sounds good. May says, and tomato soup. And says, who's all watching with me here on Facebook? I don't know. We got 9 people watching. Oh, hallelujah. Thank you, baby Jesus.
Buttons too, so I think there's just one of those
One
left.
button left.
Mhm.
I hope y'all buy it so it's not left behind. It's going to have abandonment issues. Everybody leaves it. Mm-mm-mm. One moment, please. I'm going to chug it, so don't worry. I won't be distracted too long. And there's a reason why William usually does these. He's a lot nicer than I am. I'm kind of how you call an acquired taste. Um, and so not everybody likes it. Somebody recently wrote me and they told me, they says, I really like your posts, but I don't like you on the lives. And I was like, I don't care. Which probably is an indicator of why they don't like me on my lives, because I have a less of a filter, I guess. I do have a filter. It's just not as much as like, when I'm composing a post, I can like edit it and I can be thoughtful, contemplative. And you can be both. You can be thoughtful and have the heart of a poet, but you can also be sassy too. They're not mutually exclusive. Marianne says decaf is basically brown water. Correct. And they like my parents, they were on a fixed budget. So they never had like, anything really fancy. But the food, like the coffee they got was like the cheapest one, which you gotta do what you gotta do. But like it did not have how you call I was not savoring that coffee, for example. I mean, but even Cafe Bustelo, which is kind of the one that I kind of like, um, is expensive now. It's almost triple the price, believe it or not. Anyways, May says Hubs and I couldn't stay at my mother-in-law's until we got married, so we had to stay at a hotel. Isn't that more scandalous though? I mean, it's nice. The last time we went and visited my parents, we stayed at a hotel, and I loved it. Cause like when I was done, cause there's something about my dad was dying at the time, so nobody was like happy time, but it was more like family drama time. But like when I was done, I was like, oh, we got to go back to the hotel so we don't waste money. And then they're like, oh yeah, you gotta go, you don't want to waste money. Cause at first they were offended that we don't want to stay with them, and then but um, it worked out because then when I would leave, I could kind of turn it off and I got full like rest and it was kind of nice. And then like I could go in the morning and like get a real coffee and not drink the brown water situation. Jennifer said, "You're making me laugh today." Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. Teresa said, "I love when you do the lives." Oh, um, Marion says, "How much were the buttons?" They 150 each. And then William said 150 each. Kim says, "You're an artist, Andrew. You be you." Jen says, "I can't believe they did that to you like that with the stuffed decaf." My dad had heart issues, and cholesterol problems, and they didn't want his blood pressure to go real high. Plus, he had a little problem called racism, which made him a little bit angrier in life. And so it's probably better that he drank decaf. But you know, so but the rest of us, like I don't have that problem. So May said we didn't want to spend that money. Oh, well, there's that. You know what? I always sleep in the car to be honest. I don't know. We have a nice roomy van, so I was like, maybe I just put a mattress in the back and I sleep in the back of the van. I'll go down to the 7-Eleven and use their bathroom. I I take that what they call the whore bath, where you just like wipe down your your I'm gonna get censored here, but you wiped on your areas, you know. Marianne says should be sold now. Willem says thank you. I'm gonna get in trouble. Teresa says my favorite is when you and William do the lives together. Oh, you know, it's my favorite is when William does lives by himself. I don't mind to be in the comments, but that ASMR of me chugging, I can feel it coursing through my veins like a pleasant, warm hug from the inside. I'm ready. Okay. How this did not sell already, I have no earthly idea. All right. We gonna do frost six. You know, the other reason why it's nice when Bloom does it is he don't dilly dally like I do. I'm over here. Look at this. Look at this. Let me tell you a story about how I didn't drink enough coffee. And he was like, all right, here's the beads. And I'm like, let's cry together. Vicky says, don't worry about it, one. Well, May says, remember Madonna and Desperately Seeking Susan cleaning in the bathroom. I don't remember that, but you know what? Madonna came out with a new one. She's gonna be Confessions from the Dance Floor, Volume 2 or 10 or whatever it is at this point. Uh, you know, my favorite of hers is that one where she got the Shanti. What is that? Ray of Light. Yeah, I like that one. That was a good album. And then the one where she's gonna you know, the Frozen. Me and my mom would sing that. I don't think that's an appropriate song for a mother and son to sing together, but we did, and she got into it. But then she called Madonna a dirty girl. I was like, she's not dirty. Well, you know, except the erotica, but whatever. Everybody And then I was like, you and dad had the erotica times, and then everybody's like horrified. You know, I don't get sensitive about that. But like she almost puked up her lunch. But anyways, it's not like I was like asking for a demonstration, but you know, I'm not as sensitive about some stuff as some people. Like my brother Dwayne, he looks like he um had eaten something bad and I just delight in it. But that's fun. Make people uncomfortable. Um William says, I need to see the frozen diet next time. The frozen diet next time we visit. Oh, duet. You know, I don't know if that will probably happen. That's been probably how many it's been about almost 30 years since that came out. I can't remember that. And she barely remember where she is, let alone the words from a song from the 90s. Um, but you know, whatever. Anyway, so Frost Six. Um, let me see how many we got. All right, $14. And there's no more discounts on this. I just keep it at that point, and there's three of them left. The other Madonna one that I liked is the one where she's the Love Profusion. No, I like Madonna. Mostly everything she comes out with, I like. So I don't know what I'm saying. I'm like trying to be picky and choosing. I was like, I like the one where she was like singing in Spanish. And I like the one where she's like offending the Pope. That's a different Pope back then. No, it's not so loving back then. And then yeah, you know. Anyways. So this is a long strain, y'all. You can tell we stranded it up. It's 12 plus almost this about 15 inches. 15 inches. These are these kind of like pinch beads, but big. So it's three-sided with them great big holes. Look at that. You can like do the luge. Is that that winter sport where you go down a hole? You could go down the hole on that one. Look at that. There's a great big hole. This is not no India bead where you gotta like hope and pray that the thread will fit through. We did put this on the finest thread possible. And look how glowy these are. That, yeah, William said it. He said, frostics are so glowy in parts. Yeah, this is good. Look at that. Um, Jennifer says, it's not like everyone doesn't know how they had children. Elders often can get away with music better than usual talk. Well, maybe. You know what? That wouldn't be her first choice, though. She'd probably be into Celine Dion because she likes she's Filipino. You know the I know there's like you're not supposed to like have stereotypes, and this like stereotypes are like get into racist a little bit, but for Filipino people, that a lot of Filipino people love the karaoke. If you ever want to feel inadequate about your singing skills, go, or maybe you're really good, so maybe you won't feel inadequate. But if you are like questioning your singing skills, go to a Filipino party where they have the karaoke, and then you'll really feel bad because it's like a sport, y'all. Like one that people actually play. Because they get like they take it serious and they're like get dramatic at time, and there's like tears and like dance routines, a whole 9 yards, and you got all in there. And then they can actually sing, you know? So if you want to feel bad about your singing, go to one of those parties. I saw that one where they had a little meme on. Well, first of all, I was reading those Filipino cozy mystery books about the one woman who works in a bakery, or she has a bakery, and it solves murders, and then the police just give her like job as like solve murders in their town, which I don't know actually happens. Like I can understand if you're like a private investigator, but like some random person who makes ube cupcakes, they're not gonna be all like, "Hey, y'all want to solve this week's murder?" But anyway, they did like those books. So what am I saying? They were good. But since I was reading those, I was like Googling all these like Filipino dishes because they talk about food a lot in the books. And so I was Googling it. And so then my whole Instagram was like all this Filipino stuff. And one of it was this guy who was going to go to a Filipino karaoke party. And he was going to go up. And then that didn't work out. He's bashful. Anyways, Frost 6, $14 for a 15-inch strand, a great big hole, agate, and it's real pretty agate too. Marion says, I almost never feel about my singing. Well, that's good. I told you you should have been in a little band with your neighbor, the singing neighbor. I had like this whole Hallmark thing in my mind about how you all would meet over singing and then form a love connection over the songs you would sing to one another. And it would be like once, except they actually get together in the end. So there's that. That's pretty. Raw 6, $14. I got 3 strands of this. If y'all don't want it, I'm gonna keep it. And I'm gonna put on some leather. And I'm gonna just put like 5 of them and put on leather. Maybe put some big old pearls in between. And then we gonna call it neat. All right. So there's that. And let's get the next one. And it takes me about 10 minutes to go tell story time and show this. How about some malachite? Is this real? That looks fake. This one is synthetic malachite. It's pretty. but whatever. Nobody bought the Fra 5, the S word. I used to work for S word. I used to design projects for them. This one's Frost 7. What am I doing? There's $6 a strand. There's 2 of those available. These are short strands. It's not long. See? This 5 inches. I'll put that up there. This is synthetic malachite. So basically, is you just buying it for the color and the pattern. You like that? I'm not gonna try to sell this one too hard. I think it looks nice, but that's not the favorite. Marion says, no, since then I would feel very bad. William says, Frost 6 could blend well with a Cloud Dancer, too. Oh, how about this? Wouldn't that look good? Mommy, daddy, baby. We just made a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Yeah? No? It's a yeah from me. That's if I don't get wild with the markers and color all over it. William said maybe give an extra discount on Frost 7. All right. Even though that's still pretty good deal, even if it is synthetic. $5 a strand. Okay, brought 8. What are you gonna do? Let's show these ones. I like these ones. This is some chrysoprase. Look at that. Gem me deliciousness. It's got more mint than chocolate. You know how they call that mint chocolate? Sometimes you get chrysoprase, well, mostly matrix. I'm like, where's the minty part? I want to feel that cool breeze. Ooh, that's extra minty. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of my mom's mahjong set. And you know what that reminds me of? Fruit jellies, pandan jellies. It looked like I should be able to bite it. But that's how you loosen up your teeth if you do. So, all right, they're $3.50 each. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 available. That's for 8, y'all. So the chrysoprase is something lovely. So lovely. I think that's nice. We used to sell loose stones a lot at the store. I had there was an antique store and his name was Dwayne Hall. He's dead now. He had a little red chair and he'd sit in that chair outside his store. And boy, if somebody came by his store, he'd haul ass down the street. But anyway, so he used to save me whenever, because he used to do estate sales, and he used to save me different cups and like glass dishes and candy dishes. So when you came into our store, we don't have as much of the breakable glass as we used to, but we used to have a ton of it, and we would keep the beads in there. And so we would have shelves and shelves of loose gemstone beads. Because not every time you want to have, you don't need a whole strand. Sometimes you just need 1 or 2 of something, and that'll do it. Anyway, so we used to sell those a lot. So I think we may get back into that because the Johnstown store seems like that would be popular there. So maybe we'll do that. Um I need to talk to the upstairs, the renter, John, and ask him if he knows how to move that counter, because it's blocking my feng shui. And, I would rather have that moved. But I, for one, like, I don't know, he's a handyman and he takes care of the building too. So he would know. But, anyways. Blim says someone tried to claim Frost 7 times 3, but we only have 2. Maybe he meant Frost 8. I see a claim for Frost 8 times 2. So I don't know. But that's what we got, Frost 8. I'll leave you to do the spreadsheet because I don't know. My email isn't really working. So I got Frost 8 times 3. So there's one left. I think. Yeah, there's one left of Frost 8. The mint chocolate chip delight. Now I want mint chocolate chip ice cream. And I want the junky one. Not, they have this like highfalutin one and this don't have the food coloring in it. It just doesn't hit the same way as that junky one that's all full up of dye. Normally I don't like dye, but you know, there we are. Oh my. All right. If this don't sell tonight, I'm gonna keep it. Y'all don't believe it, but it's gonna happen. It's true. I think this is maybe an ivory. Maybe that's why I didn't sell. This is marked 14. There's one of this available. William says, I want mint chocolate chip ice cream now too. Well, because we've been looking at this chrysoprase. It's got you in the mood. Anyways, this is Fra 9. Look at this. It's beautiful. It's in size. Scrimshaw, y'all. You know what that is? When they cut the lines in, this inside the lines, and then they put the dye in, and then wipe away the excess. Got this beautiful floral pattern. Look, you can see that kind of bump like that. Those ridges. So maybe this is horn. I'm gonna say it's horn. So y'all don't call the PETA on us. Um This one, them old incised ones, $14 only. Somebody did that by hand, y'all. Didn't do this on the machine. If this don't sell, I'm gonna keep it. It will be absorbed back into the hoard. It'll become one with my collection again. All right, I'm gonna clear some room because I'm starting to feel a little bit claustrophobic. Nobody wanted Frost 5. Bless his little heart. This spot don't do good, y'all. The last thing that was there didn't sell. Oh, bless its little heart. Oh. All right. So that was Frost 5. This is Frost 6. Did I sell any Frost 6? No Frost 6. Okay, I keep it. Look, all these things that I like, they go together. Maybe y'all don't like that. Too matchy. All right. Frost 7. I think Frost 7 may be sold out. Hallelujah. Raw 8. I think we have one left of raw 8. Let me just go buy it so that we don't have all this like little giblets hanging out. All right, for raw 9, I'll leave this up there for a while, but it's moving into this position, so who knows? Probably won't sell. Oh well. How about these ones? Oh, I love these. I must have got these for a kit because there's a bunch of them. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 of these. I love these drops. Let's check glass, y'all. Okay, we're going to do for raw 10, y'all. And that's $4 a strand. And there's 8 of these available. Oh, it got claimed. Hallelujah. It got picked. They like you. They really, really like you. Well, thank you. All right. So this is Fra 10. So this year. And this, they're really fun. This kind of pea green, this lime green. You know, I had a friend and you knew her, if maybe your eyesight's not good and you couldn't really see her face real good from far away, but her outfit you always knew because she always wore lime green, turquoise, and purple, and usually those colors together, but you could tell. There's 6 millimeter round Drux check glass, $4 a strand. You know what would be cute is if you made these into a little pea pod. Y'all know how to do that with the metal? Marion says, I have some of those S-word spacers. Oh, good. Y'all know how to do that? All right. So this is, say this is your sheet metal. You fold it in half. Use a mallet, hammer it gently. And then you could use shears to this. You cut up and then you go like this. You want to not make it as super pointy because if you make it super pointy, then guess what? That's going to be like a dagger to your throat. So you want it to be kind of this, like this. And then you get a hammer that's it's called like a riveting hammer. It's got a head that looks like this. I'll show you. It's shaped like that. See that? It's like a hammer like that. And from the top, it looks like that. And you don't want to use this side. You want to use this side. The flat pointy part. And there you go and you hit it like this. Wait, where do you hit it? If you hit here, along here, it fans out. If you hit here, it curls. Let me think. Oh, you don't want to hit this. Don't hit this part. You hit this like this. Your hammer blows go like this. Um, and that spreads it out because when you hit it with this, it pushes the metal like this. If you hit it with this side, it compresses. So this spreads the metal, this compresses the metal. And so this turns into a really fun shape. and then you jam like a butter knife in between like this, and you first you anneal it because every time you hit it, you work hard on it. Then you anneal it. I don't like to dump it in the water, y'all. I have like a cold bench block, and I'll put that on the side and let it cool like that. Because if you put water in that, sometimes water gets inside of this, and it can become dangerous because it can kind of blow up. But anyways, you take a knife and then you go like that and you open it up. And then you put this in there and you kind of close it up. And then you have a little pea pod. Wouldn't that look good? And if you want to be extra, you can take a dapping punch and put it in here for each of where the pearls is and pop, pop, pop. And then they nestle in there real good. Kim says, I've made little peyote stitch pea pod earrings out of 3mm chartreuse rounds. Those 6mm could be good for a necklace. Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good. So there you go. That's an idea for that. Raw 10. I got a thing that says, can you combine last night and today? Yep, he can do it as long as it's still available. Fra 10, 2 strands. All right. Thank you kindly. We got 6 more then. All right, let's do the next one. I'll put this out the way and leave one up there so you know what it is. Now I want to make pea pods. I'm like, well, I got to do this live for. I want to go make some pea pods. Maybe I'll do that. Or I'll make. Oh, he's sickly. I was like, I'll make him do it, and then it'll be like William tries. Extreme Sport Edition. He don't like to do it when I throw down the challenges. I'm like, we're gonna play a game called mowing the lawn diagonal instead of horizontal and vertical. We're going to do a different pattern. He's like, you're just giving me chores. And I'm like, don't worry about it, William. All right, let's do FRA 11. All right, let's do. Now I'm in the mood to make something. Since I've been playing with the beads. Let me see, do I have a needle? If I got a needle, then I could do something. Wow, whatever. How about ooh. You can tell William picked these out because Angela's watching. Howdy, Angela. Because there's all those green. Even the mine for spring, spring renewal. Holy shit. I mean, oops. Holy smokes. Well, this nice cheap date, y'all. 35 each. Is this 2, 3? I'll keep this one for my own particular use. So 3, 4, and 5. All right, there's 5 available. Just check class, y'all. Says, I do love green. Okay, this is for 11, $35 a strand. See this next to the penny? These are pretty big. These are a table cut, so they mat them on the outside and then they table cut them. And these are really pretty. Kim said this is like AG after dark. That's because I cuss. So that's about 18 millimeters by 12. It's better when William does it. He's really nice about. He's like doesn't say any bad words, and this is real nice. This is how big is this? Almost 8 inches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. This 35, I mean, that's the vintage one. That's what we pay, that's the price we got. So we gotta sell that for that. Got 5 of these strands available, and they're real pretty. I think these ones do glow under a black light. So if y'all going in the club, it will shine bright like a diamond. Angel said that's some serious green. Kim said these are like the blue and magenta ones yesterday, maybe Monday. I bet these glow. They're pricier. Yeah, I bet these do glow. I have a black light downstairs. We could test that theory. I do like it though. Like, look, it's got that little hint of that aqua inside. They use what's called uranium salts to make this kind of that specific green color. And it's food safe, so it's not. Well, I shouldn't say that. You're not gonna grow like a third eye, like a third arm, wearing these. You know, you're not gonna all of a sudden wake up with lesions from radiation. Um, and it's encased in the glass, so it's not like you shouldn't suck on beads like that anyways, but I would recommend not grinding things up and snorting them anyway. So don't do that and you should be safe. Got it. They glow. Look. You can't really see it because it's like lit up. Like, the sun's out. Look at that. It's like Slimer from Ghostbusters. All right. So that's Fra 11. Let's do Fra 12. How about this? Something else that's green. This was $10. Let's make it 8. There's one available. This is for 12, $8 only. And it's for this little lampwork heart. Kimberly says, I can see that Ghostbusters look. I like it. I'm ready. Come on, Egon. So this lampwork glass, the hole goes from the top to the bottom. There's little rows. I need an overhead light like this. And then it's got this beautiful kind of pattern, speckled pattern of purples and oranges and blues. And only $8. Somebody made that by hand. I can't remember who. About 14 and a half by about 16. And look how good that goes. That look good. That looks good. That looks good. This looks good with this, but these are a little bit big for that. So, I mean, yeah, I would say if you wanted to do a size smaller, go with that, which I just happen to have right here. I would put that with this strand. That's my strand, y'all. You can't have that one. All right, so this is for 10, $4 a strand. This is for 11, $35 a strand. This is for 12. That's $8 for that lamp artisan lamp work. Let's do for 13. Boy golly, we're gonna be here. It feels like we've been here all day. I hope y'all have been having fun. Switch things up. Oh, look, more green. Kim says, what an array of green on the table. This is $6 for all this, for this tubes. And you get how many in there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you get all of them for $6. That's that. It looks like African turquoise or sesame jasper, whatever they call it. It's basically jasper that's green. All right, that's for 13. You get all this. Those make cute earrings. Or like a bracelet. Do like a ladder stitch across. Here you go. I'm designing with you. I get kind of bored doing the sales and I just want to make stuff. I don't mess around with no money. Oh wow. There you go. So that's bra 13, $6 only for those. I guess those goes with those. Not really. That's not really my jam. So, anyways, let me put this back so that I'm not constantly catching it on everything. And then we're gonna do Fra 14. So have y'all been listening to anything good? Any good audiobooks? I am I got some Nora Roberts books. I don't really my mom reads them, but she don't these ones are like fantasy. So I don't know. I don't think I've read any of Nora Roberts books before. All right. So these are $4. Oh look, more green. And there's 3 of these buttons. These are some vintage check glass buttons. Fra 14, $4 each. And let's see it. They got also that rose pattern. Look at that. And they've got metal button shanks. See that? And those are those, like, it looks like a rose. 3 roses. These are vintage check. You know, when I went to that warehouse and dug through all that stuff to find these, the guy, he was tons of stuff I don't even remember having. Oh, Fra 13 sold, thanks. And Fra 12 sold, thanks. Will Fra 14, will one of those sell? Let's see. Kimberly says, I have 2 hours left of the glass maker. Oh, good. Jen says, this is special because we don't usually have a quick live, so William can go to his pottery class. Oh, because it lasts forever? Kim says, wow. Oh, I already read that. Oh, an array of greens. Marion says, seldom use audiobooks. William says, I have 2.5 hours left of the glassmaker, and they're going to take it back in one day. Can you renew it? You'll never find out what happens to Ursula, or I'll tell you. Let's see. Kim says, I just listened to an excellent fantasy, Strange Animals by Jared Anderson. It's a debut. I hope he turns it into a series. Oh, that sounds fun. There's one that I got also, and it's about like mummies, but somehow they're like in South America. Um, I only started listening to it and I couldn't get into it right away. Sometimes some books take more concentration than others. Like if there's too much, like I have to figure stuff out. Oh, you went into something that's interesting that we started doing. So I don't know if y'all know this, but me and William have been practicing Italian. We started last year in preparation to go to the workshop that I won in Turtaldo with Jennifer Wells. And so we've kept up with Italian in the hopes that we go back. But we started turning our captions on in Italian for some of the shows that we watch. We started watching this show called Exo Kitty. I don't know why. I mean, we've been watching it, so it's not like it's unusual. But I've been on this kick of watching only enameling videos from the Enamelist Society, and I could tell William was getting kind of bored to death of my enameling videos. So we took a break for a minute and we started watching that kitty, the Exo Kitty. And so we put the subtitles in Italian. And so it was kind of interesting because I kind of got, there are some words I don't know yet. So there's some stuff that I just didn't know. But I pretty much got the gist of it. Um, and so at least I can read the Italian, maybe not say it. Kimberly says, I got a notification that my library just added the glassmaker to the catalog. Oh, that's annoying. That happened to a series of books, and I spent all my Audible credits on this series. And then the library came out with it after I finished reading it. William says, nope, someone has it on hold. Well, you better finish it today. Otherwise, I guess I can tell you. William says, I like the enameling videos, but I do need a little balance sometimes with something else. I don't. I'm going to do enameling all day, every day, and it's going to be wonderful. Even if some of those people don't know how to use the Zoom, the one made me kind of get queasy because they were doing it and it was like getting wild. I was like, hold it still. Anyways, I'm not going to talk smack because I know how hard it is to be doing. I'm sad that we're not going on Fire in the Mountain. If you live near Spruce Pines, go see my friends. You can go see that movie that I didn't get to see yet, Elizabeth Brim, Iron Pearls. Maybe one day I'll get to see it. Kat Cole is doing demos on enameling on steel. That alone is worth it right there. She's famous. Plus, she's nice. I wanted to see her show at the Metal Museum, but I think it's down already. But I did hear the good news that they bought one of her big pieces. So that's good. She made this great big piece. Let's see. Teresa Coulter says, I read Nora Roberts, but you have to start with the very first book because what happens to her life continues throughout the books. Each book is a different mystery, though. I think it's the first in the one. It's called like Awakening or something like that. So I hope that's the first one in the series. I mean, it's the first one in that like chunk. I don't know if there's any chunks before that chunk, but I'm gonna put this one. Did y'all see these buttons? These check glass buttons. He's on fire for the green today. Let's see if these glow. That don't glow nothing. Does it glow? I don't know. I'm like, is it just reflecting the light, the black light off of it? That's $4 each button. All right, each, so you know. William says, I'm glad your email is now working. Mine stopped. Kim says, I just look up novel South American mummies and found What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. Sounds good. I just checked out the audio. Is that the book you're listening to? I think so. There's two of them, and I checked them both out. So we'll see. Angel says, so glad that you mentioned your experience with language learning. I think it would be good to watch preschool programs. Well, these are kind of, as teen drama, you know. But see, you have to watch the show too. If you don't like the show, you're not going to care. That's the other thing. All right, let's see. I'm glad that my vague, half-assed descriptions pulled up some stuff. Because this is not green, but it's still a pretty color. I love these, y'all. If I can get them out the bag. If you pulled that off of my thing, these are African bottle glass beads. So these are recycled glass. Marianne said, I just finished the cracked spine and the isolated seance and working on Essex dogs. Do y'all read multiple books at once or do you try to read one? I always try to just read one at a time because otherwise I can barely keep track of what I've already read, let alone if I start mixing and matching. Unless I'm on a deadline. All right, these are real pretty. Do you all remember that movie, The Gods Must Be Crazy? I don't know if it's politically correct anymore, so don't go out and rent it and then be like, oh, Andrew, what did you make me watch? My dad loved that movie, so I have suspicions that it may not hold up to today. But it was amusing from what I remember. These are about 16 millimeters. These are all different, So what they do to make this is they make a clay mold and then they take it used to be bottles that they got and they would pound them. And you see how the holes is kind of irregular size? They take a stem of a cassava plant and they put it in the middle of the mold and then pack the frit, which is the ground up glass. And then they put it in these clay ovens. And this is how it looks. It's fused together. I don't know if they still make it like that. Cause let's see. This is gonna be froth 15. And let's see, was 12. I'll give it to y'all 10 a strand. I have 2 strands available. And it says she reads multiples. And it says my learning disability students hated when I tried captions with them. Didn't work at all. Oh, really? Some people don't like to read while they watch shows. I know people like that. Kim says, I try to have an ebook or paper and an audio book simultaneously, stimulating different parts of my brain. That's smart. Marion said that movie was about the cargo cult. Well, the one, the gods must be crazy. I thought it was about a Coke bottle that somebody threw out of an airplane, and then it shows like them going to war over this Coke bottle. But I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I've seen that, so I don't know. But I remember my dad laughing hysterically about it. So that's also where I kind of like, maybe it don't hold up now. But maybe it does. Marianne said yes. I think we watched that in school. All right. Let's see. Do we have multiples of these or just I think this is the last one of this. This is bronze. Uh, This gonna be frost 16. This was $9. Now $8. And there's one available. Man said have to look it up. Teresa said I read one book and one audible. I read one book and one audible. So this one, Frost 16, is a little bronze pendant. It's handmade in Indonesia. And it's a little bronze butterfly charm. And the bell, it's got a jump ring and it's soldered on. And let's see. About 11 by about 13-ish. By about 2. Little bronze butterfly charm. That's Frost 16. That's this one. And I just looked up the movie and the library has it. The Gods Must Be Crazy 2 is also available. Marion says, you are correct, Andrew. It is about Coke Ball and trying to return it to the gods. But these ones always remind me of that. That's why I guess they have the prime directive on Star Trek. You're not supposed to mix and match the technology so that y'all don't cause like civil wars and stuff. All right. Let's do how about the last springy colors tonight. Ooh, this is a Morganite, I believe. No, this is a Chalcedony. Ooh, I like these. Has anybody seen Suzanne lately? She's watching Wednesdays. Maybe she's trying to get away from watching the lives too much. All right, how much is this? Was 28. Let's just do it for 20. There's one available. Let's release it out into the universe. We'll play the knockout. This is Frost 17, $20 for this shorty strand. The shorty strand is about 6.5 inches plus some spacers in between. This is glowy. Look at that. It's glowing at you. This is almost like a faceted egg. These are real pretty. You got this kind of like bluey green, real pale. This kind of pinky color. This kind of Guess yellow. I don't know. Suzanne has been catching replays more often lately. She's been busy during the lives. Oh, Angela says, I do love this group. Oh, good. All right. So that's Pro 17, $20. That's a good deal for this tassel strand. Did I ever tell you the story about how I used to we would do like workshops in Tucson, and we would do like mini retreats. And one of the things, like the perks of it, was that I would take people around and introduce them to different vendors that I've known for a long time. And the idea was that they would get better deals and stuff. I don't know if they actually did or not, but one of our people, she um she was nice, but she kind of put on airs, like a little bit fancy. Um, and at one point, somebody said something about some, and they're like, "Oh, this is pretty," and she said, "Oh, I only buy strands with tassels on them." And the idea originally about that is that they would put tassels on some of the strands so that it would make it harder for people to shoplift them. And also, some vendors would do different colored tassels so that they could do sort by price, like $20 ones have red and $14 ones have orange or whatever. And then the vendor overheard her, and he was like, I can put a tassel on that right now. And I just laughed. But, anyways, Kim said, I missed the description of Frost 17. Is it glass or stone or agate? And then Marianne says chalcedony. And then William says he loves them nuggets. All right. I love them too. They glow. They glow in my heart. Anything that's got kind of like that opalescence. If you didn't see, if you're interested in learning enameling, I got a deal for you. That I'm going off script. Like today hasn't been completely off script. But Mary Lee Ray, she's an amazingly talented artist who has been doing enameling for a long time. And so one of the things that she's been doing has been recording different enamelists so that that information is preserved, and we don't have people who like pass away and then all the knowledge is lost, because that's actually happened. That's a very real thing that has happened in the past, especially with enameling. They had this whole thing of grisaille, which is a technique of building from dark to light, which is a chiaroscuro technique where you put thin layers of white or translucent enamel, and you build up the layers to build depth and volume with it. But there's a recipe that goes into some of those grisailles, and they can't figure out what it is. Um, and the workshops were real secretive, and they kind of kept everything under their hat. But I think the workshop that got destroyed in a fire, and once the father and son passed away, then all the information about how to make those grisaille enamels disappeared. So that's something, a very real concern about knowledge not getting passed on. And so she's kind of taken it as a mission to go around and have tutorials on enameling. And so she's gotten some really amazing, talented artists come in and film things. Like, for example, there's one from Martha Banyas. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us and has passed away, but you can still kind of learn from Martha because she has these videos. And so Mary Lee Ray, she has this program called Thinkerific or something like that. It's a virtual classroom. And for the rest of April, um, her water lily class is free. I mean, there's only like 6 days left in April, or like five, or I don't know how many days left, but that is free for the rest of April. So if you want to learn about opalescent enamels, go on ahead. William, if you're there, pop the code into the chat. We sent it out in an email. All right. Marion says script. There is a script. Sometimes there's a script. Not when I talk usually, but sometimes, I make a list of things that I have to talk about so I don't forget. But anyway, so Mary Lee Ray, William, if he is watching, can put that link in there, and then you get one free. You get to see the water lilies class for free, and then you also, if you sign up, there's tutorials from Sarah Perkins, um, Amy Roper Lyons has one, Martha Banyas, I think Darcy Shea. I haven't even watched them all yet. And we're about halfway through the cat head one. And it kind of looks like Barnaby, so we should probably finish it. But anyway, so it's a really wonderful resource. We'll send out the link on that. And folks can get access to it. Jen, so the same thing happened with ancient Sumerian granulation techniques. The methods were lost. Yeah, there's some pretty wild stuff. I took a class in granulation, and the teacher was like, okay, so I didn't put this in the description because it's gross, but y'all gonna have to spit in this cup. And so we had little cups, and we had to spit in the cup. And somebody was like, and she's like, not that kind of spit. But I guess the spit, instead of using hide glue, so what they used to do is they would take like bisons or whatever thing that they were eating, and they would take the skin and make leather. But apparently, you can boil down the skin and make glue out of it, and they call it hide glue. Um, and it smells all to get out. I mean, this stuff stinks like rotten bum cheek. I mean, some of it's not too bad, but some of it's like, oh my goodness. I used to work for an artist, and I used to stretch his canvases. And his canvases, he only used linen canvases, and you had to use sizing. So it's like a glue that doesn't dry out completely, and it was a rabbit skin glue, and it smelled terrible. And I was like, did something happen to this? And I've used it since, and it doesn't smell like that. So maybe his batch got messed up. But anyways, so there you go. You can make glue out of skin, but the reason why I was talking about that is that they would use that as an alternative. That's what some of the techniques for holding the little balls in place for granulation. We used spit, and it was not super effective, but apparently it has a little bit of acid in it, and like not like a Helam, like one of those lizards that melt your face off with spit, but apparently it's got like a light surfactant in it or whatever. And they actually use that to clean some of the sculptures. And I cannot imagine cleaning like, the David or something that's like 14 feet tall with some Q-tips and some spit. But apparently, a lot of things in a museum conservator, they use that. But I guess it's because it's like it's supposed to be a very mild, like cleaning. But apparently, some of the artists, they get wow. We watched this one presentation from this artist, and he says he fasts for 3 days and only drinks distilled water before he he spits in the cup. And I was like, "What?" But he also makes like $30,000 pendants. So, I guess I could fast for 3 days and like go into like a trance and like spit in a cup for 30,000. But Marianne says, I have heard of rabbit skin glue. It's a thing. And then William, he put the link. Um, and so that's for the full bundle. Oh, okay. All right. Frost 17. Oh, it got claimed. Thanks. I put that away. I'll put that away. Let's see. So that was story time for like 3 hours. All right, let me put some of this away. I hope you don't mind my story time. Because what is that? 414. What's this? There's always like little gibblety papers everywhere. So anyways, that's available if you're interested. And plus she's super nice. I really like her. She's very supportive of me and William. She's bought some of my paintings. And when she bought them, I was like, you mean this famous artist that I admire so much is buying my work? What? And that was a real feather in my cap, as they say. Kimberly says, love your story time. And Teresa says, I like your story time. Am I like lulling you all into a trance though? Like the sleep state? Hopefully nobody's driving. All right, so let's do Fra 18. Oh, Fra 15 got sold. So what am I on Fra 18? 10,000 years later. He says Fra 17 sold. Thank you. Let's see. What are we gonna do? All right. Oh, something that's not green. All right. So these were $5 a strand. Another $4. And how many I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got 6 of these available. I'm not going to take it off the hang. This is a jet black check glass with an AB finish. You're going to go the razzle dazzle time. Got that AB finish on it. Can y'all see that? I don't know. The light changed in here, y'all. So Kimberly says, I find your stories interesting. William says, your stories are more interesting than my shows. You should do this more often. Now he's funny. Marion says, no driving till tomorrow. Then get the cozy time. Put y'all to sleep. All right, they're about 6 inches. This good chat. A Fra 18, $4 only. Got 6 of them. He just don't want to do the lives anymore. Too bad, William. That's how we buy groceries. $5, 5 millimeters by 4 millimeters, maybe 6. He actually knows how to use a caliper, so that's one benefit for having William do it. These are nice. Oh, I sold one. Oh, I sold another one. Oh, so how many is that left? I got 4 left. Alright. Okay, Fra 19. Let's do it. Um, yeah, I've had a lot of odd jobs when I lived in New York. One time I was a subject for medical research. How about that? I used to do that. There's this magazine called The Village Voice that would come out, and then all the doctors would have people come and do that. All right, this is the espadrille. Look at that. Bling bling. Put that in the window. How much is this? This is 12. Was 12. I'll do it for 10. There's one of this available. This is vintage though, y'all. I recognize this tag. I don't even know if she's alive now. All right. So this one, I don't even know what shape you call this. What shape you call this? Not really a bicone because it's got that kind of cut down in the middle. Double pointy cone. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's pretty. Got that sapphire with the AB. All right, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 beads on there, plus some spacers. Does look real nice. Oh, I just sold it. I just sold it. Y'all gonna have to battle. No, y'all don't have to battle. All right. I'm gonna put it away though, so that people. All right. Fraud 20. What we got? This looked like my gua sha. I thought he put my gua sha in here, and then I was like, "What you doing putting my gua sha in there?" But it's not the bead. Chung or mango. All right. I'm into it. But this does look like the gua sha that you use on your face. I have this little thing, and when I get sleepy when I'm driving, I do gua sha. And then I go when I end up at the place wherever I'm going, I had this really long, it was like 12 hours I was driving, and then it ended up being longer because I got stuck in some hellacious weather. And so when I got there, my face was red like somebody slapped me a bunch because I kept gua shaing myself. And somebody was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm fine. Don't I look young?" All right. This is a great big jumbotron pendant. Jen called it a tapered round. William says, I was thinking it looked like that too, the gua sha. Yay, can't be tempted. All right, let's see. So this is about 59, so I'm guessing 60. And it's 44, I'm guessing 45. And then about 8. So there's this. It's pretty. It's kind of a slightly matte finish. It's a great big agate pen. It looked like a mango. I also found out that they were younger because they played the 90s channel. And I assumed that because they were playing the 90s channel, that they were all like in their 40s or so. And so I was like, okay, or older, because there's a couple people who are a little bit older. And so they were all listening to this music and they're like singing along and stuff. And so I was like, okay, so they're like maybe a little bit younger than me, but they're like, this is from the 90s. And Gregorian chants came on and they're like, what's this? I was like, y'all don't remember this? And they're like, no. And then that's when I realized that this was their parents' music. and they knew the lyrics because their parents used to play it, and then they would sing along to it because their parents would listen to it, and they were really just in their early 20s and not in their 40s. So I don't know what that says about their skincare routine, or, I can't really tell anymore because everybody, between red light therapy and gua sha and like fillers and stuff, you can look like a baby and be like, you know, like have the skin of a child and, be older than me. But anyways, so then I was telling them like stories like I'd be like, did you know that in the 90s people could come up to your car and ask for mustard randomly? And if you're super fancy, you had some. And they were like, what? And then I was like, yeah, it's called Grey Poupon. And there used to be these commercials about how they would go and they would have the Grey Poupon. And so one of the girls, she told her fiance about this, and turns out her father-in-law, or soon to be father-in-law, he was in one of those commercials. So I thought that was pretty funny how it was like a small world. So there's Fraud 20, y'all. Let's see. Let's do Fraud 21. Y'all remember the Grey Poupon? I don't think there's anybody who's under 21 who watches our shows. William said, did you all see the vintage sequins we sent an email about? People are grabbing them up. Be sure to check them out in our online store. I love those sequins, y'all. Let me just tell you, I do. I have a deep and abiding love for them. I used to get them from this dude named Ben Eagle, and he dressed up like a cowboy, and that's how he normally looked. But he lived in New York City, so I don't know what that was about. But he had these dusty, crusty ass boxes, and you would be like, I don't know what's in this box, but we're gonna find out. And he would just bring his booth basically looked like a garage sale with a bunch of falling apart cardboard boxes. And he used to have the best sequins. I mean, he had vintage Belgium sequins, he had vintage French sequins, he had all kinds of unusual shapes, and they were like dirt cheap, and they were like some of the best ones ever. All right. So I don't know if he's still alive. That's been a long time. There are these ones. They're lamp or glass. Let's see. I could do them $2 a piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So $10. And then one lot of that. So this is Fraud 21, and you get all of these. Artisan Lampwork beads. I can't remember who made them. Jen says, pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon? They didn't know what that was. And I was like, what? And then we started talking about the now that's music or whatever, where they would be like hits from the 90s. Now that's the music. And it's like supposed to be like the pop music from that time. And they're on like something wild. I don't know how far they are, but they were like, I don't know what they were. They would just start doing that. But now they're like not a low number anymore. So this is kind of a light, kind of lilac, transparent, kind of a bluey, kind of violet color, but very transparent. So they kind of glow like that. Yeah, I don't know if you can see them very well on camera because of the blue background. Maybe this will help. Um, I thought Fra 21 would go really well with the lampwork bead from yesterday. It had some lovely periwinkle color in it. Vicky says we would glean under Ben's table after the shows. He thought it was hilarious. And those large flat sequins are called pilettes. Oh, there you go. Update the listing. All right, this is Fra 21. There's another thing that they use that they have that word. I think that's what they call it when they put the thin metal in the enamel. Is also called that. Can you see that? That light. Those would go well with the sequins. Hey Vicky, do you know if Ben's still alive? All right, so that um she says pronounce paillettes French. Oh, there you go, paillettes. There you go. I took French in high school, but it didn't stick. So it's Fra 21. All right, let's do I seem to recall there being some beads that look like this fairly recently, but they're kind of this cobalt with ketchup and mustard and some Heinz and Grey Poupon. And that's a Fra 22. And this was $8. What we'll do is $6. That's one available. And this is about, let's see, so 3.5 by 4.5. So it's like an 8-inch strand of these. This is Fra 22, $6 for the strand. And these ones are approximately 10, 11-ish by about 24. Vicky says it's been years, but last I heard he wasn't doing well. Oh no. Well, that's a long. I used to shop with him when I first started doing shows, and that was over 20 years ago. Um, so those are fun. I think these are Indonesian, like Manique. But they're kind of like a bootleg of old trade beads. Nobody wanted this for gua sha? You know, they have ones that are supposedly all silver and they're supposed to be like hypoallergenic or whatever. And then the one I have is made plastic, so I wash it every once in a while because I already have skin problems. I don't need extra. Um, Marion says more Heinz and French's. Now I'm gonna be in the mood for hot dogs. And I'm a vegetarian. You know where I had the best hot dog, y'all? Let's just pause this. This is before I'm vegetarian, so don't get nervous. It was in Tucson on the side of the street. They had one called a Sonoran dog, and this is the vendors come out when all the drunk people leave, and I may or may not have had a beverage or two, and They wrap them in bacon, and then they put guacamole and salsa on them, and it's so good. And, like, the bread was really good, and the hot dog was pretty good. Bacon was really crisp and crunchy. I know some people like a like softer bacon, but, like, on that, you don't want that soft, because that's, like, chewy then. And then, they had the guacamole, and you could tell that the guacamole was, like, fresh, and it had, like, a hit of citrus with, like, a lime juice, and there was, like, a you didn't even need the salt because the bacon was a little bit crunchy and salty. It was delicious, and they had some kind of relish on there, and it was kinda like, I don't know, some kinda like I guess relish has there's a technical difference between relish and, other condiments, so maybe I'm just that's not right, but it's delicious. They called it a Sonoran dog, and I enjoyed that. Whenever we would go to Tucson, I ate well. There used to be this really, fancy place, it was called Cafe Poco Coso, and everybody wanted to do that for dinner. If your show went well, that's where you ate. I don't think it's open anymore, but everybody would always make reservations, and sometimes we'd eat there like 3 or 4 times, and I'd get kind of, a little bit tired of it, um, and, the sister of the owner, she had another one, it was called, like, Little Cafe Poco Coso, and it was more like it wasn't as, like, fine dining, it was more like kinda like more like casual, like, street food style, and it was so good. It was so good. Um, and I like that a little bit better. 'Cause, sometimes they used to have, like, for the vegetarian option, it was like a masa, but it was, like, sweet masa, and it was kinda like eating, like, cream of wheat, and, like, I'd be hungry after we left, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm not talking smack about them, and if you like them, I'm not gonna yuck your yum. But I guess also if you're not vegetarian, that was also the thing, because they probably catered more towards non-vegetarians. Okay, here's this. There are these great these ones look like rosary peas, but I don't think they are. Let's see, what does this say? They are Haruru, Haruro, Haruro, and these were $16 a strand, now 12. There's one of it, Huayuro. Haruro. They do look like rosary peas to me, but they're much bigger. Rosary peas are also deadly toxic, just so y'all know. My mom used to have me gather those, and I'd be like, little red beans with black spots on them. But these are real pretty. There's a long strand of it too. How long is it? Wow. Plus 12, 24, plus 5, so like 29 inches or so. This is Fra 23. Oh, Fra 22 sold. Thank you kindly. And so now I might have to have my annual hot dog. I kind of gross myself out with how hot dogs are made. And that could be why I was a vegetarian for a while, as in high school. because I read this book about how they were made and I got horrified. We also had a class trip to the slaughterhouse, and that was probably not, it was like a food science thing. And I was like, why? Who thought this was like a good idea? Anyways, so I'm gonna put these away. Some of those sold, but there's still a few left. Raw 18. Yum yum. All right. Tell I'm getting hungry. I'm getting desperate for the food. Um, what is the best meal you've ever had? That's a good one. I think the best meal I've ever had in my life. I mean, I've had a lot of good food. One of the ones that stands out is again when we ate meat again. My friend Sisha and Jenny. Sisha was one of the co-owners of Witchcraft, which is the sandwich shop that I used to work at. Him and Tom Colicchio. So if you ever watched that show Top Chef, Tom was one of the head judges. I don't know if we don't have that channel, so I don't watch that anymore. But so Sisha, we went over to their apartment for Easter one year, and they had this amazing like feast of like seasonal things. And so there were like ramps, and he had these scallops, and they were perfectly done. And I think there was a lamb dish, and one of the people had made this bone marrow ravioli, and that was Ben. He made that, and it was like it melted in your mouth. It was like sounds gross, but it was actually delicious. And then Jenny, she made this delicious pecan pie, and I don't know what she put in it, but that thing was delicious and so good. All right. Marion says it's from the Amazon and our symbol of prosperity. Well, I'm gonna shake this up. I like the color. The bright red. William said that was such a good meal. Yeah, that was a good one. Um, I don't know. I've had so many good meals. One of my favorite vegetarian um ones. I mean, let me think about this. There's a lot. I don't know. Maybe um I don't know. I've had a lot of really good things, but anyways, Maces, you're still on. It's because I'm on, because I talk slow, and then this is last infinity and beyond. We started at 3 o'clock. That's 3 hours. We still got 7 more lots. May, what is your favorite? What's the best meal you've ever had in your whole life? I'm curious. Somebody once said that something I cooked was one of the best meals of their life. And I was like, "What?" Her name was Liz Sherwood, and she's one of my coworkers. And we used to do this thing called orphan. We would have orphan holidays. And when William, I think the one that we got to is when William and I started first started dating. And we would just have all these random people come, and if they didn't have plans, they could come. And I mean, it took forever to cook. 'Cause usually we all would work during the day too, and then in the nighttime, then we'd have a celebration. And my apartment it was on the fifth floor walk up, and it was like so stinking hot. And anyways, we made Thanksgiving dinner, And I had made the turkey. Um, there's a way that you can cook it, and it's like it takes forever, but it's like barely you cook it at like 180 degrees. It sounds like it shouldn't work, but it's not dry at all. And it just like it basically implodes. You know how in the turkey it's like all round and stuff when you take it out of the oven? Well, that slow method, because you cook it low and slow, it just collapses because it just basically melts. So I can see why that would be a good one. Mesa truffle ravioli. Oh, you want to know one that we had that was good recently? We had this when we were in Tritaldo. We had this pistachio gnocchi, and it was delicious. It was kind of sweet. It had a kind of a buttercream sauce. I'm into it. Marion, so they have to be on a slaughterhouse tour. Oh, she said, I have also been on a slaughterhouse tour, and yes, the making of hot dogs is kind of gross. Correct. Kim said, best meal ever, a lobster taco buffet in, is it? It jumped. Ensenada. Kimberly said, my mom made spicy fried rainbow trout. I hate most fish, but that was the best thing I had eaten. Pregnancy could have played a part in that, but it was so good. So you don't like cheese and soup and you don't like fish. May says the waiter kept shaving the truffle into a big pile. OMG. That sounds delicious. When we were in Venice, one of the people got some truffle. I don't know if it was truffle ravioli or if it was truffle pasta something, but that also, I mean, they were not stingy with it. When we went, it was porcini time. And so there was like porcini mushrooms on everything, and I was not mad about it. I was so delighted by it. Um, and one of the things that I found out, and I don't know if you all knew this, and maybe like I just didn't know this, but, some of the restaurants, especially, like, in Siena when we would go, is they had, like, I at first, I thought this was a produce stand, but it wasn't produce stand. What it is they would have the fresh produce that they were using in that night's, like, special in a basket in front of the restaurant, and that's how you knew what they were cooking that night. And I didn't know that until we went to Siena, but that's how they would tell us, like, because I was like, "How much is this?" And they're like, "That's not for sale." And then they're like, "That's what's for dinner." And I was like, "Oh." Um, Marion said, "Too many yummy meals to pick a favorite." Kimberly says, "I like some fish, but freshwater fish has never been on my like list, especially catfish." My grandma could fry a fish, y'all. They would have fish fries, and they have a it's called crappie, and that was like a delicious. People get wild for it. Oh, we sold FRA 23 here. All right. So here's some uh, breast cancer awareness month. They're glass beads. Looks like there's a whole strand of it. Let's do it. 14, and there's one strand of this available. We used to sell these in the shop loose. I think a dollar a bead. That's 12 inches plus about 16 inches strand of this. They're lamp work. These are not artisan made. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 29 beads. And these are roughly about 14-ish by about 7, 14 by 7. And this is raw 24. May says another restaurant we overpaid for a special truffle meal and they hardly got any truffles. They were so stingy, but I bet they made bank from us. Oh no. Marianne says my favorite fish is steelhead. You know where I had some delicious mushroom ravioli? It was in this like a cafe. It's called the White Wolf Cafe, and it was in Winter Park, Florida. And I mean, I don't know if it's still there. It's been over 20 years. And I mean, it's probably been longer than that, actually. But it was part antique store and it was part restaurant, and that was good. Marion says, I'll pass on the truffles, but I love porcini. I love both, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. They had I love truffles. They have a slightly fruity, earthy smell. I know some people they don't like it. But I like it. All right, let's do some of my pendants. These are laser engraved. This is when we were figuring out the secrets of them. I probably won't make any more like this. So there's this one, and it's this big. It's about the little smaller than a, or about the same size of a penny. And they're matte. See how they're matte? It's not shiny, no shiny. FRA 25. I'll just do this $12. There's one available. Speaking of fish, this little koi fish. FRA 26. Another $12 one. There's one of this available. And this one is a honeybee. And the honeycomb. That's this one. I do love a truffle popcorn, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I know somebody was like, "Oh, it's so passe." I don't care. I eat it. More from me. Move over. I'll get it. This one for 27. That what was it? 20. This one make it 18. There's one of this available. And it's this bird. Put a bird on it for a FRA 27, FRA 27, $18 for this pendant. This is one of my drawings. These were acid etched. Maybe that's why we stopped doing that, the pendants. Cause I don't really like to acid etch. I mean, it is what it is, but it's not my most favorite thing to do. So maybe that's why I don't do them like this anymore. But I do like the look of them though. I do love a good matte moment. All right. So this one's 25, FRA 25, $12 for the little koi fish. FRA 26 $12 for this honeybee. And then for our 27, $18 because it's a little bit bigger. There's that bird. All right. So let me start cleaning this up. So, are y'all making anything lately? I know Kim was making the beaded flowers, working on some projects. What are y'all working on? Mesa, oh, also love truffle chips. I want some. Kim says, it's a bug. I'm ready. Jen says, my husband took me to a hole in the wall Yemeni restaurant in Baltimore. We got lamb and rice dishes, maybe shrimp, and ate in the car. It was delicious. That sounds like a nice memory. Some of the places, um, there was a Middle Eastern restaurant that was around the corner from where we used to live in Sunset Park, and it was so good. And the sad thing was is that we only found out about it right before we moved, and the food was so good. Um, and we used to get Indian food at this place called Milan. And the food was good, but it was mostly the scenery that did it. They used to have all these chili pepper lights that would hang down from the ceiling. And when I say like the chili pepper lights, there was like hundreds of strands of these lights. And it was chock full of nuts with that. One of the best creme brulees that I've had, there used to be this thing called the dessert truck. And this is back when dessert trucks were like new. And back then there was like they would go on Twitter and they would say where they were at. And they used to park around the corner from one of the restaurants that I managed. And so I would go there every night. And this is probably a sign that I was not in the most like the best work environment. But like I would comfort myself by getting these desserts every night. And so if they had creme brulee, I always got the creme brulee. But sometimes I'd switch it up because they had different things. Like they had these like s'mores that were like these bougie s'mores that were really good, and they had like a cafluti. The guy that ran the food truck, he was a classically trained French pastry guy. But anyways, so I would get a creme brulee like every single night. And one night I got out of the restaurant late, and it was like a really hard day, and it was a really hard service. And I got up to the truck, and I saw the sign that they were sold out, and I just started bawling. And like I don't know, you can tell, it was a hard day. And so it was like that was like the kick in the face. And then he was like, "No worries, dude, I got you." And he had saved two creme brulees for me because he knew I was coming. And so um, then one day they didn't show up, and then I was sad. But then I didn't work there for very much longer after that. So, anyways, all right, I got three more to do. Let's finish it up with some buttons. I've been talking my ear off forever. This one, it's like we had the minty green version. This is the um gray version. I don't know. It's kind of like a pale, kind of a gray. It's a gray. It's a check button with roses. This can be $4 for Fra 28. Do you like how I save that? Or I'm not gonna rip the paper over. Raw 29 is also gonna be $4. It's gonna be one of that. And raw 30 also gonna be $4. Let's see. All right. So there's this. Oh, there's two of these. I'll get back to that in a second. All right. So here you go. This one's gonna be Fraud 29. It's a grape cluster. This is a check button. They use goldstone. So you see those things that make up them little tendrils? That's goldstone. I don't know if you can see if we're that close, but it's a little bit sparkly. That's one of the things that I've been using in some of my transparent enamels. And it's got a metal button shank. And there's a grapes. These are larger grapes or smaller grapes. And they're from a pressed mold. You can see it's from a pressed, like they pressed it out. There's two of those and they're $4 each. William says that he loved a grape cluster. Did y'all see they had the Practical Magic 2 trailer? I'm into it. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me see if I can get this adjusted so you can see the light a little bit better. So there you go. Fraud 29, Fraud 30. And if you're interested in any of those, you can email us at info@allegorygallery.com. All right, y'all. So that's only been like what, 4 hours? How many hours? 3.5 hours. So I've been on for about 3.5 hours and I drank that coffee. So now I must go and excuse myself. Hopefully y'all are doing well out there and that you're having a great Wednesday. We'll be back tomorrow evening at 7:30 on a regular time. Hopefully William's feeling better because I don't know how many more of these I can do in a row. I got enameling to do. Maybe some creatures. I don't know what I'm gonna make for the Friday drop. So you got a sneak peek of some things that could be in the drop on Friday. All right. Hopefully y'all had a good time and we'll see you later. All right. See ya.